I'm going to respond. Go ahead.
I agree with him that it's kind of the way that it's always been. The bigger schools who spend the most money are typically the ones at the top. I do think, though, that their history has a lot to do with that, and the fact that if you grow up, have you ever known Ohio State to not be anything but just like one of the most talked about big brands and all of that? No,
they've had, and I'm 42. They've had maybe 3 to 4 bad years in my lifetime, and one of those was after after Jim Tressel left.
Yeah, but I think what does get eliminated to some extent, and I know what the answer is already to anybody who says, well, yeah, but just pay the players. And that's just the answer to everything. But like I was saying earlier, like not everybody can do that. Well, okay, if you can't do that, then you're just out of the mix. Well, okay, I get that, but I just think that kind of sucks, because that wasn't necessarily the point. But again, this is just years of inaction all boiling up. But I don't know. I think, the big schools are going to stay the big schools, and they're normally the big schools in many ways because of the money, but I think they also are big schools because of their history and because of the fact they've been around as long as they have and because that's what we've been watching all the time. And I do think that there are certain smaller schools that, that do compete and do become fun stories, and I guess just maybe I like it when it's not the top dog every single time, and I do like watching a team not go and win a national championship, obviously, because that's incredibly difficult to do, and the big boys are the only ones that win that. But, a New Year's Six Bowl or things along those lines, that winning their conference, and I don't know, I'm just I feel like I'm being told over and over again, well, that just doesn't really matter because so what, all that matters is the big guys winning and the TV ratings and the TV deals and all of that. But I don't know. A part of the reason why I liked college football was not to see Baylor win a national title or Iowa State win a national title or whatever. But, hey, to see them, cause a little chaos and get to a Sugar Bowl and win a Sugar Bowl, that's a pretty big effing deal for those schools, And I don't know. I just feel like it's kind of like, well, who cares if those schools aren't in the mix? You know what I mean? And I'm not saying that directly from him, but just in general, it's kind of like, yeah, it's too bad. And, that's the way it is. That's the way it is. But I just think that's kind of unfortunate is all I'm saying.
Who cares if those schools are on the mix? You're not somebody who lives in ties with those schools. So it's really dismissive of everyone wanting, everyone wants the same thing. Now, can you get it? There's realism and there's not. But to know going in that there's no chance that you'll ever taste the championship is a harsh thing or whatever that is.
Which still is a possibility, although a rarity, and the exception in college basketball.
But they will tell you that they had no chance to begin with. And that's true. Well, Louisiana Monroe's never going to beat Ohio State for a national title. And so I get that.
A chance to play for one.
But I think you need the Louisiana Monroes of the world.
Yeah.
And that's all I'm saying.
Which is why if they want it to be pro sports, if they want it to be more professional, there's got to be more guardrails because even the Jaguars can figure it out and win a title. I mean, they can figure it out.
Because there's not a group of the Patriots and the Steelers and the Cowboys and all the Super Bowl champions from the history basically blocking them out of winning anything ever.
Yeah, there's a small handful that's won
it's
most
a
of
racket,
them.
is what it is.
There are still the opportunities for someone to win one.
In 2015, the Royals won the World Series.
Yes.
Okay? That's one of my favorite non-Red Sox World Series of my life because it showed. Yes. Look, last year, the Milwaukee Bucks won the NBA title.
Yep.
And they did it by...
Had not done it since Alcindor.
Yeah, exactly. He wasn't even Kareem. His name was still Lou. That's how long ago it was. So, they were allowed to because they were competitive balanced guardrails. Now, extrapolating that to many, many more teams and many more athletes is much harder, but... At least you can say, if you want to do this, there's a lane that you have to stay in.
Armstrong, we're going to continue this discussion. Will you get a picture of that University of Houston helmet? Can you get that wide shot? Is that possible?
Well, you can just put it over my shoulder, I think, right?
Let me see. The reason I'm bringing it up.
Yeah, see?
There you go. That's the new addition to our set, thanks to Juan M., University of Houston class of 2007.
Thank you, Juan.
Texted us about a week or two ago, sent it to Paul. And we got that up on the shelf. That's part of the addition of what we have. Then we also have another part of the wall with all sorts of different helmets. But wanted to give Juan M. thank you. He said, I love it. It looks awesome.
No, it looks great. Sharp-looking helmet. And, so anyways, I'm under no illusions that North Texas ever has a shot to win a national championship. But, just the fact that they at least feel like there's an opportunity to go and do something really huge every year if the right things click is what you play. It's not all you play for, but it's part of what you play for. It's what you certainly practice and do all that for, is to just have a fighting chance. And I just feel like I don't know. It's all about the big boys. That's just all it is.
And that's why I think the simplest, like the simplest path you can put in with the least amount of making the big boys, pout about it, because it benefits them too, is the 12 teams. You put in the 12-team playoff, then at least you are taking away the ridiculously thin pinhole that they have that the Cincinnati had to run through.
Baylor and TCU.
Yeah, Baylor and TCU had to, and theirs was a little bit bigger than Cincinnati's, but still not very, very big. So you take that away, at least when North Texas gets that one season a lifetime where they're 12th, and they get to go play a 5th seeded Michigan in a game.
Who cares? It's going to be a blowout.
Maybe not.
But it's a big deal for North Texas. It's a massive deal for them to even just be in that game.
Yeah. Who cares? It's going to be a blowout. Yeah, sure. That's the case for 60% of sports, pro and college.
Yeah.
That there are blowouts. That the
How
teams
many years in a row did the Super Bowl, the greatest event in the country, how many years in a row was that a blowout? Wasn't it like 10?
Yeah, look,
well, not quite 10.
The Cowboys have won 3 in my lifetime, and only one of them was in question. And so
against Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, I know not everybody has a chance, but to at least feel like you have a chance means something. And I just hope they're able to maintain that somehow with just whatever, solution is ultimately out there. It's just that the smaller schools do matter. I know that the big schools could break away and create their mini NFL, and they'd get massive ratings, and they would be just fine and not blink an eye if program after program shuttered. It's not their responsibility, but I do think that is a huge part of college sports. College sports is not just Ohio State and Michigan or just Oklahoma and Texas. It's a lot of other schools, and that's part of what makes it college football and in the communities. And people just, are dismissive of that. Like, oh, well, nobody cares if, TCU's not in there. Like, only people in Fort Worth would care. But why are the people of Fort Worth not worth anything to you? Like, I mean, I know they don't bring in the big TV ratings maybe that you're looking for, but we're just measuring, I guess, let's just be like anything else. Just measure people by their TV watching and the money in their pocket and not anything else. How about they're fans, man. They root for their team. Like, the Cleveland Browns suck every single year, but they're one of the best fan bases in the world, right? Would you want to just get tossed the Cleveland Browns out of the way? No, because, hey, they're a win most of the time, at least in history. Hey, they're a great fan base. They, bring crowds. I don't know. I don't like beating. College football's always beating up on the little guy. And it is what it is, but let's just not toss the little guy over the boat entirely. Is all I'm saying.
The most lovable losers in baseball for 100 years were the Cubs. Everybody, and look, all it took was, a guy with a bunch more money to buy the team and kind of point them in the right direction. And yeah, there's going to be some ebbs and flows and things, but the Cubs finally won a World Series. All it's going to take for a lot of the little guys, the lovable losers, is just the right guy for a short amount of time. Is it going to be dynastic? Is it going to be is all of a sudden SMU going to get the right guy and turn into Alabama? But no, but that one little run can keep a fan sustained for the rest of their life.
Yeah.
Or at least the ability to have a chance.
Yeah, I'm just saying is everybody just to feel like they have a chance, even if they don't realistically. And look, this is not even a diss to the big schools. It's just kind of the mindset of, who cares if it's not OU Texas, then it doesn't matter. Or if it's not, some brand A, brand B, it doesn't matter. I think all these schools matter, even if you've never even watched them on TV before. They mean something to the place where they are. They mean something to the players on that team. And I don't think anybody's looking to route and throw those all away. But I don't know.
Here's the deal: the game back in December at AT&T Stadium between Baylor and Oklahoma State. It wasn't a complete sellout. That place was crowded. One of the largest crowds they've had for a Big 12 championship game. That place had people on pins and needles until the last basic play by Oklahoma State on the play by Jaron McVay and then a couple of knees. That's what you're looking about. That's what you want, that ability to have a chance to win a championship and then, at least on occasion, You're not just, you can't play for this because of who you are.
Yeah, that's all really. And, and that had several million people watching. And that's not just Baylor and Oklahoma State watching. That was a hell of a game, hell of an entertaining game. And, I would hate the idea of like schools like that not having an opportunity. I mean, I know Baylor and Oklahoma State are going to do everything they can to stay with their heads above water, and they're in the NIL game. I know that. But I'm not even so much talking about them. I'm talking about the not so Big 12 or Pac 12 or SEC related teams. But hey, at the same time, having said all that, I think it's awesome that there is so much news going on in a way. And I think it's cool that every day there's, kind of something new to talk about and some new twist and new turn with a player or whatever. And it is going to be fascinating to see, just how quickly teams are able to reload and how the big schools take off even further. But, it's just trying to wrap my head around it all like everybody else, I suppose.
Let's wrap it around in another